Hello and welcome back to the best hunting show produced here in Africa. On this week's episode, we travel far north, right into the heart of the Maracapula Reserve. This three-part series kicks off with Neilson taking a monster croc and a super tough shot. We then start the plains game hunting with a bang, as Sabrina takes a huge Kudu bull only hours after arriving. I'm Richard Leonard, this is Africa, my home, and I have the best job on this planet. I travel throughout Africa, filming wildlife and adrenaline-packed hunting action. I've been passionate about wildlife and hunting videography for many years now. As a hunting cameraman, I get to experience incredible beauty, sometimes absolute chaos and very dangerous encounters here in the African bush. The challenge I face as a hunting cameraman can at times be extremely nerve-wracking. I always have to be out of the way near the back, like an invisible man, but when the action goes down, I have to be right in the front to capture everything on film just as it happens. This is African Hunter TV. Hunting doesn't get better than this.
Arriving here at Maracapula Reserve was a very interesting experience. The people and the game here are both second to none. Of course, first of all, we came here for a hunting experience. You know, some of the stuff you get to see here is very similar to being in some of the wild places of Tanzania and Zambia and other places that I've been. I was very pleasantly surprised and happy to see us coming to a place like this for that experience. For me, Africa over the past 20 years has been probably one of my greatest passions in life. But as of late, especially when you get somebody important in your life like I have been fortunate enough to find Sabrina, it becomes even more important, more passionate for me to share that same experience of Africa with those that I love and care about.
I got it!
Got it?
Yep, I got it.
Congratulations, that's great. What's been most exciting for me is to see her excitement, her passion, her drive to want to pursue and do the things that I remember myself doing the first time I was awed and inspired by the views, the scenes, the sights, and the smells of Africa. Problem is now, as every single hunter that has ever been to Africa will tell you, the mistake you make is going once, because you can never go just once. Prior to my arrival here at Old Day Safaris, I had quite lengthy conversations with Luis Jr. about, you know, what we planned to hunt and a little bit of our hunting strategies. But really for him and I, we had two things that we were mainly after. One was crocodile, and of course the other one was lion. First priority actually for me was to do a little crocodile hunting. You know, Luis told me about one of these big crocs they had in one of the dams, and it's been here for a long time. And he says, "Listen, man, he's cagey. You guys are going to really have to work for this one." Really, the plan here is just to get over there, kind of have a look. There's one really big croc in particular, and so we're just going to try to start figuring out what he's doing, where he's laying, and then see how we can make an ambush plan for him in a couple of days. So I love hunting flat dogs, lots of fun. You know, this wasn't going to be easy. I mean, frankly, look, you could do the traditional blind and baiting situation, but honestly, that's just not really my thing when it's not necessary. I enjoy the pursuit of the hunt. I love spotting and stalking animals, and I've done it with crocs before, and anyone who has done it knows that these things, they might look like they're asleep, but they are wide awake. They have an incredible sense of smell, hearing, sight. Everything is super keen, especially when you consider the animal's probably, 40 or 50 years old. It didn't take us long to figure out this was not going to be easy. Yeah, the big one he's there, but of course he's not getting out of the water much. You know, we either had a long 200, 300, 400-yard shot from the open, or we were going to have to come through the mountains. So it took us a day or two to kind of figure out what we thought this croc was going to do, and then we decided we needed to try to go in and see what we could get done. When we arrived at the dam, we started looking around. We noticed that the crocs obviously weren't out in some of the flat stuff, so we figured once again, yeah, they're probably tucked back in some of those rocky open areas. We've got over here to where the crocs are at. We're gonna try to sneak around, just have a look, see what's going on, and we'll decide if we can stalk them. Problem with these crocs is, man, they are wide awake, these things. They've got to be between the rocks. So maybe it's a good idea to sneak up over here and see if we cannot just find them, boys. Right now we are 109 yards from these crocs. The big one is the bottom left one, kind of laying at the edge of the water. It's a great shot angle, but it's still a little bushy through here, so we're gonna try to see if we can get set up a little closer. You know, Stefan and I made the decision we had to get down off of that rock, crawl through some of the brush, and back up on top of a bigger rock, and hopefully from there, we would be able to have a clean line of sight to the croc, but we figured this was the best we were gonna be able to do. What do you think? I'm thinking, you see where his smile is, his horn. I'm thinking just down below his horn. Everybody ready? Attaboy. Well, good job. Yeah, he that anchored him right there. I mean, anchored him on the spot, huh? I know that might seem like a bit of overkill, but as these PHs will tell you, it's not. I mean, man, sometimes those things, the first one, and it'll just stun them, and the next thing you know, they're in the water. And if they get in that water, look, one, it's deep. Two, there's other crocodiles, and they don't, they sink. Wow, 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 that was cool. That was cool.
So when I ranged it from where I was sat, I was at 107, and then where you was moving over to with about 15 more yards, less yards.
Right.
I was thinking it was going to be about 89. Where was you at?
Yeah, no, I was right at 94 where I was at on the rock. I ranged them a couple of times, and yeah, it was 94. So I mean, it's, I wouldn't say that's ideal for a shot at a croc. I think most guys would probably rather keep it 50 and under, but where he was at in that situation, that was as close as we could get, so it ended up working out okay.
Yep.
We know he's finished. We're pretty sure he's finished. Yeah, I mean, he's done. My gun is safe. Yeah, check that out, honey. Wow. Big old crocodile. Look at those big old teeth on him, huh? Isn't that amazing? Look at all these teeth up here. They're all broken. I mean, I think he's really old. But right there, as you can see, that's right where we were shooting from, up there in those rocks. And I mean, Stefan and I and Richard had to climb up in there. As you could see, that was probably the hardest part of it, certainly for me. But it was 94 yards right here. But as you can see, I mean, it's just all thick bush and everything. I mean, getting anywhere, closer was really not possible to be able to get a shot at him. Well, we're sitting here in front of our big croc. Finally got him out of the water, got him away from the rocks. As I get older, crawling through rocks and bushes and weeds and trying to follow Stefan, who's 6'6" and I'm 5'10", I'm trying to get up the rock, and it's not so easy for me anymore, but look, it was still a lot of fun. And that's really what I love. I told Stefan, of course, we talked about baiting and building the blind and such, but I said, man, I really love the pursuit, the spot and stalk, that's what I love about hunting. You got to plan how you're going to get there and how you're going to get your shot, and that's what I really love about hunting. And this croc, actually, where he was, it was about the best we could do to get to those rocks at 94 yards away, and shot him a couple of more times just to be sure. And of course, the Hornady Dangerous Game ammo worked perfectly, as it always does here in my 416 Ruger. Anchored him right on the spot, 94 yards, and now we got a 13-foot crocodile. So that was a lot of fun, and I guess we'll just keep carrying on. Interestingly enough, Sabrina's list, and of course on top of it was a big kudu. I mean, who doesn't think of a big kudu as maybe Africa's most iconic plains game species? You know, they're not called the gray ghost for nothing. So I told her prior to coming here, listen, they're definitely here and they've got some good ones, but I know you have a number of animals you want to try to get, but please be prepared that, you know, it's possible you might leave without some of them. And I said a kudu could definitely be one of them that you don't get, because they are smart.
My biggest thing that I wanted to accomplish on this trip was my kudu, and which we did. As soon as we got into camp, we hurried and went and sighted in my gun to make sure it didn't get off from traveling.
That's gonna do it.
Then we decided to just take a little stroll with Luis Jr. to see what we could see, and we're walking down the road, and I'm just hoping I get to see a kudu. And I seen when in the reeds, and I'm like hitting Luis Jr., and there was 2 down in there, both nice kudus, and we set up on one, and he sat there really good. He was watching the other kudu move off, and Luis Jr. talked me through it. He's telling me, you know, to follow his head down and where to place my shot.
See where his head is flipped back? He's going straight down. Yeah, he does go straight down into the body midway in.
Again?
Put another shot into him again.
Again?
Okay. Reload. It's okay. It's fine. Follow him.
So I make a nice clean shot, and I pulled it off. I put the shot right where Luis Jr. told me to do it, and the rest is history. I have my kudu.
Yeah, we'll just give him a second, but I think he's down. Okay, he's down. Good job.
I spotted him again.
You did? Yeah, you sure did.
No, that is the second shot. The first shot hit him good.
Yeah, no, the first one, his shoulder is finished, eh? He's good.
It was a very emotional moment for me because it's a gray ghost. They're just not everywhere. They're not an easy animal to hunt, and for me to be here and get it the way I did, it just doesn't happen like that.
Let me just check.
Baby, you need to come down here. Come look at your kudu. This is pretty spectacular. See if you can pull them up at all. Look at that, huh? Look at that. Well, honey, you know, look, I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited for you. I'm so happy for you to get here to Africa, your first day, and get to come out. And I know this was your primary animal you wanted, and you got a beautiful old kudu bull.
Yep, totally what I came here to get.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, right away you spotted. I saw you pointing. I saw that you had spotted it first, and then Luis sees it, and he says, "Oh, that's a great-looking old bull." And you guys made a nice little stalk and got down here and made a good shot right on the shoulder, and you got him.
Yep.
I'm so happy for you, baby. Proud of you. Okay.
Thanks.
Congratulations to you. All right.
If you would like us to plan, arrange, or just film your African hunting experience, then contact us at info@rtzmedia.co.za.